cannot mentally manipulate information or ride a bicycle. No, I just threw that in there. Children's increase in playing and pretending takes place in this stage. Okay. However, the child still has trouble seeing things from different points of view. The children's play is mainly categorized by symbolic play in manipulating symbols. Such play is demonstrated by the idea of checkers being snacks, pieces of paper being plates, and a box being a table. Their observations of symbols exemplifies the idea of play with the absence of the actual objects involved. By observing sequences of play, Dr. Piaget was able to demonstrate that towards the end of the second year, a quality or a new kind of psychological functioning occurred. This is known as the pre-operational stage. So you'll have students like I have that they'll get a pen and they're playing with their pen, and you let them borrow the pen, let's say, and you get it back in pieces because they ate the thing. They thought it was candy or a snack or, some type of comfort to eat the pen. And paper, yeah, it tastes good too. Little squishies, they taste good. So at this particular stage, one helpful thing is to get some manipulatives that they can put in their hand, and like a squishy ball that they can, keep their stress out or have comfort with while they do their work. There's actually chewy toys that you can buy for the kids by keep them sanitized, but it helps them to move on and not eat the work material that they need to finish their assignments. Stage 3, the concrete operational stage. This stage follows the pre-operational stage, and this stage occurs between the ages of 7 and 11. And it's characterized by the appropriate use of logic. During this stage, a child's thought process becomes more mature like an adult. They start solving problems in a more logical fashion. Abstract, hypothetical thinking has not yet developed, and children can only solve problems that apply to concrete events or objects. Piaget determined that children are able to incorporate inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning involves drawing inferences from observations in order to make a generalization. In contrast, children struggle with deductive reasoning, which involves using a generalized principle in order to try to predict the outcome of an event. Children in this stage commonly experience difficulties with figuring out logic in their head. For example, a child will understand A is greater than B and B is greater than C. However, when asked, is A greater than C, the child might not be able to logically figure out that question in their head. And our last stage, stage 4, which is the formal operational stage. This is a grown-up right here. This is a 12-year-old all the way to 100 years old right here. All right. This is the formal operational stage, which intelligence is demonstrated through the logical use of symbols related to abstract concepts. At this point, the person is capable of hypothetical and deductive reasoning, and during this time, people develop the ability to think about abstract concepts, like multiple colored shirts. Far out. Piaget believed that deductive logic becomes important during the formal operational stage. This type of thinking involves hypothetical situations and is often required in science and mathematics. Abstract thought emerges during the formal operational stage. Children tend to think very concretely and specifically in earlier stages. Children begin to consider possible outcomes and consequences of actions. I had not yet developed that when taking a 2-year-old to learn a bicycle, how to ride a 2-wheel bicycle. I did not understand the consequences of it. And then lastly, there is problem solving, demonstrating when children use trial and error to solve problems. The ability to systematically solve a problem in a logical and methodical way. So to wrap up, sensory motor, 0 to 2, reflex-based, coordinate reflexes, basically sensory motor movements, being able to take the block and stick it into the circle. No, wait. Take the block, stick it into the square, take the circle, put it in the round hole. Pre-operational, 2 to 6 or 7, self-oriented, egocentric. Let me hit on egocentric. You got kids that, they like to play with their friends, but everything's theirs. Everything's mine, mine, mine. They're self-oriented. They really don't have a concept yet of sharing or another person's point of view. So in concrete operational is where that starts to develop, 6 or 7. More than one viewpoint, that's good. So when they're playing with their toys, their buddy, they can see why their buddy says they don't need to play with that particular toy, they need another one, because it will benefit the overall playing experience. No abstract problems quite yet. They consider some outcomes. You can give them consequences to their actions and rules with consequences, but you can't give them too many. And then we go to formal operational, 11. What's pretty much 11 and up, or 12 and up, I'm sorry. So that's when you begin to think abstractly, you reason theoretically, and not all people reach this stage. For those grown-ups that teach 2-year-olds how to ride a bicycle. That concludes the 15-minute portion of the presentation, but there's more if you want to stick around. Most of my information was taken from Wikipedia, and if you go onto Wikipedia and look up Piaget's theory of cognitive development, there's a lot of subcategories that list techniques on how you would teach that particular child in that particular stage, which is crucial. So I recommend that you explore that website. It's the best one I found. I looked at all the different websites, and Wikipedia had a great outline of it in an organized way. All right, so to conclude this lesson, we're going to take a look at Piaget's personal development as a person. All right, so here we have Piaget in his sensory motor stage. And I Googled search everywhere trying to find a picture of him as a baby. This is the only one I found, but this definitely was him because you cannot mistake that face. Here is Dr. Piaget in his pre-operational stage. Now, that's from 2 to 7. He is very mature for his age, as you can tell. He already wearing a suit. Very smart guy. Looks like he's already involved in some type of business, wearing a business card on a suit there. But again, his 2 to 7 years old, pre-operational stage. All right, here's Piaget in his concrete operational stage. Now, this is between 7 and 11 years old. And again, looks very old for his age, very mature for his age. But, I think he's around 9 years old in this. This was when 1896, 1980. I think the Munsters must have came out around the early 1900s because that was the style then. All right, here's Piaget in his concrete operational stage. Now, he had gone on past the age of 12. I think here he's around 18 or so. And again, you cannot mistake that face. You just know that that's Piaget. You can't mistake him. Very unique. And here is my favorite picture of Piaget. And here, I think he's about 120. So, again, still in his concrete operational stage, reaching the prime of his life. Looks like a very happy man. He's telling us to be happy too. So again, thank you. Have a good day. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Again.